Hello and welcome to Voices of Parenting podcast. I am so glad you're here. My name is Mussi Diskin. I am an advanced nurtured heart approach trainer. I am a parenting coach. I am also an inner wealth coach, which means that I help people rediscover and connect to the people that they truly were all along, but may have gotten forgotten along the way. So to find out more about me and what I offer, you can check out mussidiskin.com, contact me through there, respond to this podcast, find me on social media. I would love to connect and I would love to hear your feedback. To sponsor a Voices of Parenting podcast episode, please reach out to energizinghearts@gmail.com. Thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And I am back with Menucha Klyne, my sister and Nurtured Heart Approach trainer, who you can learn more about by listening to our previous recordings. But like I said last time, there's a special level of heart and authenticity that she brings out in me that I love and I'm very grateful for. And so thank you, Menucha, for being here to help me share that. And I just want to say also, by the way, for all of you who are listening to this, there is a tab on my website that's pretty recent called it's mussidiskin.com/free content, where there's all my podcasts organized by theme, but also there's new content. There's a Parenting 101 series. There's some meditations and some other things, but some external things that I collected, some videos that I think are wonderful to watch. But the Parenting 101 series is all fresh, all new. And what you don't know is that Menucha's there with me while I'm doing it, and her face and voice are just not in the recording. But all of that content is really thanks to Menucha, because as I speak to her, my heart opens and I have more to share. So thank you, Menucha. And this is a collective thank you from everyone who's listening, because this is really deep, beautiful things that come out of us when we talk. So let's try and do some of that. I wanted to talk about, specifically, I was thinking about this at the end of our last conversation, how something about Nurtured Heart that's been a gift to me is that the ability to not engage in any sort of evaluating or self-definition or self-shame or blame in a moment of negativity actually allows that moment of negativity to exist only within itself and not kind of bleed into the rest of whatever's coming next. It makes it go by faster, but it also enables me to be fully there with it, so that I'm not getting past it by minimizing it, ignoring it, and hurting myself by forcing a part of myself that is experiencing the experience of the current moment, regardless of whether I wanted to or not, and forcing that part of me into a jail cell inside myself, hidden, blocked over, locked up. I'm able to fully experience this and that. I'm able to be fully here in the negativity, which is funny because absolutely no to negativity. So I definitely want to unpack that. But I'm able to be absolutely here with the negativity, and I'm able to be integrated with myself because I'm with myself. I don't abandon myself in the moments of negativity, and I don't abandon myself in the moments of neutrality, and I don't abandon myself in the moments of positivity. I'm with myself. We're living together, and that's such a solid, soothing experience. It's the true experience of a secure attachment, of being okay because I'm not alone. I'm never alone. I'm always with myself. I'm not leaving myself behind. And I mean, there's so many, even just in my head right now, there's like 15 pathways I could take of like where to go with this. But the idea that, I don't know if the audience has ever dabbled with inner child work. Sometimes it does come up in my inner wealth sessions with clients, because that's not what I do, but it's what comes up. And I'm very much present with whatever is. That's what Nurtured Heart is. But like the inner child idea is that throughout our life, if there were experiences that we couldn't process, didn't know how to process, or it was dangerous to process because experiencing them fully and allowing whatever that brought up in us to be exposed was dangerous, or or made us not liked, or made us not wanted, or made us feel threatened in any way. It threatened our relationships, like it was disapproved of, or made us lose our position of favor with those that we were actually physically relying on, biologically relying on, the adults in our life that literally we need to keep us safe, then a coping skill that we master at incredibly young ages. It's just fascinating how amazing our bodies are, is to suppress that experience so that we don't have the expression of that experience that would displease those that we need, that would displease or bring any sort of threat to us. So we learn to leave that part of ourselves behind, because the suppression of it locks it up, like that jail cell I was talking about, locks it up, covers it up, and makes it be gone. It's gone. It doesn't exist. We talk a little bit on Nurtured Heart, so I'm not going to try and control myself not to go too deep into that. But if you've ever taken a course or read the book, we talk about ignoring versus not energizing negativity and how there's a difference. And it's this ignoring that isn't healthy and isn't what we're looking for. That's like, nope, you're bad, goodbye. And that part of ourselves, it's amazing how much we actually believe in ourselves. That part of ourselves still believes that it does matter. And even though it's been in this little jail cell, sometimes from when we were as young as a few months old or a few years old, it somehow knows it's worthy and knows it matters, and it stays there, and it doesn't go away, and it never disappears. And it's just waiting to be recollected, to be reintegrated, to be re-entered into where it belongs. Every single part of us has a seat at the table, belongs at the table, belongs at us. We are a sum of all of our parts and all of our experiences and all of our memories and all of the good, the bad. It's all like disassociating from any of us means that there's a part of us that's hurting because it's not connected. Connection. Think about, if you had a little rubber band around your finger for too long, your finger starts to turn purple and numb. And then God forbid, eventually you could actually lose that finger because it's not connected to the blood flow, to the source, to the flow. So all parts of us make up us. And when any part of us is not integrated, there's something that we always sort of feel or is right under the surface. And then different triggers or experiences in our lives might feel familiar, might feel like that. And then we have this, what we call hysterical response, which is not anything hysterical, is historical history. It means the reason why it feels so big is because that little version of me, is like, see, I told you, like, I do exist, and like, you need to look at me. This is what I'm talking about. This is the thing, whether it's true or not true. Anyway, okay, I just totally went off on a tangent, but that's what the audience is supposed to hear. But the idea that what a secure attachment is, or what that security of being able to be my full self, and my full self being accepted and received, and there being spaciousness for me to have all my messy feelings, for me to be a 2-year-old that's throwing things, for me to be a 4-year-old that maybe is still biting or hitting, for me to be a 16-year-old that's cursing out my parents and rolling my eyes, and for that not to ruin my relationships with the people that I'm counting on and that I'm learning about myself from, that they're able to see past my behavior and see me and still love me, even if there's stand 3 clarity around those behaviors, but the relationship doesn't change. The way they see me doesn't change. And Nurtured Heart, the 3 stands help me stay with that. Then that safety of security, that all of me has a place at the table, that all of me is welcome here, that none of me is going to threaten my right of existence. That's true security. And that is the ability to then take myself with me wherever I go and be with myself all the time. So I think, bringing this back to where I was going in the first place, the ability to not to be in the negative moments fully, but not add negativity. That's what I want to talk about today. But not add negativity to it, not allow it to have stories, not allow it to have definitions, not allow it to be anything more than just the experience of what is. Like, whatever is, that's it, and not add anything to it negatively allows me to not leave myself behind, not hurt myself, not banish myself or shame myself. And then when the next moment comes and whatever I needed to feel, I felt, and whatever I needed to process, I processed, and I'm still whole to walk into the next moment and fully embrace and fully love and fully experience the joys and the gratitude and the appreciation, Sometimes I laugh. You guys would probably laugh too if you heard the way that Menucha and I talk to each other sometimes. Like the intensity of our negative feelings. It's like life is over and I'm gonna die and this is crazy and I can't. And we're just so extreme about it because it's all out on the table. It doesn't scare us. And obviously it's only this moment. Like I don't know what next moment is, but this moment is here and it feels really big. And I once said on a podcast, I was a guest on a podcast, and I said, and I wanted to throw my kid across the room. And that was a little overwhelming for the interviewer. And she said, but you didn't really, right? You didn't really want to. And I was like, no, 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 no. I really wanted to. Like, who are we fooling? Yes, I really, really wanted to, but I didn't. Like that's the point of the story here. We have intense emotions. We are intense people. Well, I am a very intense person. I have very intense emotions. I do want to, and how great is it that I don't? But by being fully okay with that really not okayness, it somehow opens the door for okayness to come so much faster, so much easier, so much smoother, and without all that damage. Just like we talk about with the kid, that like, I don't want to add any damage to this. I just want to get through this moment as best as I can, even if it's not a beautiful parenting moment, and even if it's not a beautiful connecting moment, and even if I say and do all the wrong things. I don't want to add anything that's going to make this last, that's going to make this damage me, or us, that later is going to like a residual effect. I just want to like be here, get through it, and come to the next moment fully with myself. It's been such a gift. So like, I don't force myself to, where maybe in the beginning I thought nurtured heart is about when I'm in a bad space or doing things I'm not proud of, resetting and becoming okay right away, like using my tools. I got to use my tools. I got to do my breathing. I got to do my inner wealth breathing and reset and be okay and be this loving, nurturing, perfectly, energized mother saying all the right things. It kind of moved into the space of like, I don't need to anything. Like forcing myself to reset in a moment where I'm not okay doesn't serve me, because it's shaming me for being not okay. And it's saying that my not okayness is negative. It's adding negativity to it. It's like a nuanced thing, but it makes me want to shame and shut down and minimize and ignore that part of me that isn't okay right now. Whereas if I'm okay with being a really messy mother sometimes and a really messy person sometimes, I'm really okay with it. I embrace it fully. I don't try to change it. I don't try to reset. I don't try to anything. I just experience it. And it's like almost this narration. Stand one becomes a narration of what is. It's a fact, not an issue. It just becomes this narration of, I'm really not okay. And I am saying things that I'm not okay with. And I am being really rude to my kids right now. And I am, and this is, but no negativity around that. It's just, this is it. And the awareness, like, this too shall pass. Like, I don't know when, I don't know how, but it's okay. We're going to get through this. Like, I've got you, we've got each other. Like, we're just going to get through this. Then I still have my full self and my full love of myself and my full integration with myself when I'm feeling better, when whatever is needed to pass, when maybe it's my kids leaving the house, or maybe it's getting over a cold, or maybe it's getting sleep or a shower or food or whatever. Right. I'm like, and now I feel great. And now I feel happy. And now look at me. I'm a wonderful mother. And it's all true. It's this and that. And it's so much freedom. It's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm passionate, Menucha. What do you want to say about this?
Yeah. What's coming up for me as you're talking is how so much of this is the intention behind what's going on in our lives. Like I was thinking when you were saying, like, an epiphany that hit me when you were talking about kids at different ages and the stages they go through. And I was thinking about the concept of baby steps. How when a baby learns to walk and they fall down, we know that's a part of their learning and their growing. So, and not only that, but if they don't fall down, they're not going to be able to learn to walk, because they need to know that it's safe to fall in order to walk. It's wiring in the brain. And it's the same with the teenager going through an angry stage, or, a younger child figuring out how to communicate. Like, all of this is part of, and every child's learning looks different. And when we approach all of that with their learning, the energy and the intention is so much different, because this is what's happening. They're learning. And I know that this is part of their growing. So this can teach them what it needs to teach them, because I don't have to get in their way. I don't have to stop them from experiencing this experience, this emotion, even though it might be painful for me and I have my journey to go through. I don't have to get in their way and stop them from growing up, because this is them growing up. And not only that, but if I do get in their way, and if I do stop them, I force them not to feel, or I make them feel like there's something wrong with them, many children will stop themselves, and they may not learn to communicate or to take that step, or to be independent, or to try new things. They may stop themselves from growing. And for me, that's the distinction as an adult. When I am trying to be the adult that the world needs me to be, so any negative energy that comes up my way, any negative experiences that I feel, I need to figure out the solution. I need to find the solution. So what is wrong with me? And then how do I fix it? So I'm going to go to therapy, or I'm going to be happier with my life, or I'm going to just feel gratitude. Like, what is the answer? I'm going to find the answer. And you know what? Sometimes we do. Sometimes we figure out what's wrong and we fix it. And we're all good and we move on. And you were talking about intensity, like that may not work for me and you, but I know a lot of people who it could work for. We just shove down the issue and we move on, and it works. But the beauty, yes, but I know that's, see, for all those who aren't as intense as we are, we really envy the people who could just move on with their life and not have it completely cripple them. But the beauty of the gift that we have, and the gift that it brings to when I can have this intention where we don't really have a choice, because our feelings are so intense that we have no choice but to approach them. But also what ends up happening when I look at, these are happening to me for a reason. This is all part of me learning to be a mom. This is all part of me learning to be this child's mom. This is all part of me learning what it means to be a responsible worker. This is all part of me learning who I am in this world. This is all part of me figuring out what I bring in what my heart brings to this world. In order for me to learn the kind of people I want to be around, I had to first be around so many people I didn't want to be around. And I was just reflecting last night how I am surrounded by people who I love and who love me. And my heart is so well received by the people in my world. I had to be so not received so many times before my light was able to shine fully, because I had to learn. Those were all directing me in the direction I needed to be so my heart could shine fully, so I could own my space, so I could stand up on my 2 feet and be like, this world, I am a gift to this world. I first had to know what narrowness looked like in order to feel bigness. And every single negative experience that comes my way is there to bring openness into my life. And when I know that, when I'm coming from that intention of, this does not feel good, I do not like this. You were talking about that day where I'm just like, okay, I am not treating, yesterday, there was a lot of energy coming my way. And I was like having a difficult time looking my kids in the eye. I was on my phone. We had actually just had this conversation. So it was really on the top of my mind, which is, everything comes our way for a reason. We had that conversation for a reason. It was really on my mind to just receive this energy. And I was noticing how even with my intense energy, even with my desire to disappear, I was taking really good care of my kids. I was balancing my need for safety by giving myself safety, and also not being unkind to my kids. I was noticing how I was able to handle the fact that I wanted to disappear and still take care of my kids really, really well. And by the end of the night, I was like, what happened? I don't even remember, but by the end of the night, I was dancing with my kids in the kitchen, and we were so, so connected. Like this burst of energy that came out of me. And I just had so much fun with them until bedtime. And it was just this like explosion of energy. And I realized there's a lot of new things that are happening in my life, and it's uncomfortable and it's a little weird. And feeling that weirdness and letting it pass through my body allowed me to experience the other end of it, which is just pure joy at the openness and newness and the connections I have and my children. But had I experienced in that moment shame for feeling like I wanted to disappear, I don't know. I know in the past that when I felt shame, the end of the day is just shame. My husband would have gotten home and I would have run up to my room and slammed the door and said, I can't be around these kids. I'm not the mother for these kids. I am the mother for these kids. This joyful energy that's coming inside of me that's making me feel all confused, that is part of what makes me the mother for these kids. And with the intention of knowing that every single thing that comes my way is a learning experience. Every single thing that comes my way is for me, as uncomfortable as it is. I can learn. I can fall down and know that it won't hurt me to fall. And I can stand up and keep walking because I know I can only learn to walk if I fall.
So gorgeous. Had a lot of thoughts and I kept saying, no, just listen, come back. Just listen, come back. Because, yeah, it's a gift to ourselves and it's really true. It's really true. Like, how am I who I am today? Because I walked through the hard stuff, because I didn't run from it, and and I learned and grew so much from it. I love the word narrow that you used. That was a fascinating word,
Mm.
to feel the narrowness. There's
Mm.
a kid's book that I don't know the name of. I wish I did. It's not a Jewish book. Um, Something Rosie Revere.
Okay.
Her name is Rosie Revere, the main girl, and she wants to be an engineer. But the point is, like, the climax of the story is when she builds her first airplane and then she crashes and the whole thing falls apart and she never wants to try again. And she looks at her great aunt, who was a great engineer, great aunt, whatever her name is, is like, that was not failure. Like, that was not failure. That was success. Like, you just, I mean, it's all rhyming and very cute, but it's like, you just, before you crashed, before it fell, you flew. Like,
Yeah.
this is it. Now you know. You're so close. Like, I watched once some inspirational reel or whatever where, there's this father basically would like celebrate failure. Like, if you came home with an F or you came home, you'd get a pizza party or a slurp. Like, it was like oh my goodness. And I try to do that with my daughter too, who is a little more worried about getting things right and, perfectionistic, which has its benefits too. And I want to energize that in her too. But when she does fail or when she does get a bad grade, like, wow, you did something so uncomfortable. And by allowing yourself to fail, there's so much to learn. Even, when my kids spill a drink or do something, it's like, oh, well, now we know, like, what have we learned? This is so great. Now, not only do you know because I told you not to play with that, but now you've actually felt it cut your skin and you've
Yeah.
actually felt the pain of the boo-boo. So now you actually know. Now you know. Now you could tell your kids from a place of knowing that it's not safe to play with or whatever. Like, it's so good this happened because there's so much you learn from it. But to do that for
Actually,
ourselves too, to remember that in the moment that I'm learning, I'm growing, and this is here for a purpose. It makes it that I don't have to like you said, I don't have to solutionize. I don't have to fix it. I don't have to make it go away. I can be here and learn what I need to learn.
I just was remembering when you said that. I don't remember the story. I wish I did, but my son took something out of the fridge and it spilled all over the floor. And he said, or I spilled something on the floor, or a guest spilled something on the floor. I don't know. Someone spilled something on the floor. And my son said to them, okay, so now that's great. Now we know that we have to take it out differently or something. Like, and my guest came over to me and she's like, wow, like, is that how you react when they make mistakes? I'm like, not always, but I'm so happy that that's what he remembers. Like, it was like, whoa, what? I don't even remember ever saying that, but he somehow picked it up. He said, now we know to take it slower or something. I should remember the details, but it was so cute. Because yeah, now we know. Just like you said, now we know. And now we know when we behave in a way we don't like, we connect with the fact that we love our children so much and we don't ever want to do that again. We connect with fierce love for our children when we are mean to someone and they move away from us. We learn that we love people and want to connect with people. We learn to be kinder. We learn that not eating in the morning is a bad idea because then I'll be mean, when we exercise too much and then our body hurts so much that we can't get out of bed, or the opposite. Whatever it is that we're doing, that's how we learn our body's limits. That's how we learn what we love. That's how we learn where we shine.
Life's the best teacher. And
Yeah.
that's where I say that what I do is an inner child work. That's not what I do.
Yeah.
But if I'm in pain about something that doesn't feel like it makes sense to be in pain as an adult, like, I don't even logically get why this is triggering me so much. And then I just, instead of running from it, instead of minimizing it, instead of shoving it down, I'm like, okay, well, you're here, trigger. So welcome. Hi. Let me listen. Let me take that breath. Let me go into my body. Let me find you in my body. Let me feel what it is that you're feeling. Let me see what it is you're seeing. Let me see you. Let me get to know you. Let me be with you. Like, what is it that you're here to teach me? And then I find out that there is this inner child work that is waiting for me and has been waiting so patiently for so many years. And I get to connect with that, little version of myself in that moment and heal it in such a beautiful way, like embrace it and bring it out. And then I'm more integrated and I'm a better person for it. And it's like, do I want more intensity? Probably not. But when I do choose to embrace it and harness it, I grow so much from it and I gain so much from it. And all of that was me all along, just waiting to be reclaimed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a sister, Hani, who's been on our podcast, on this podcast too, who has a podcast called Reclaim Your Voice. I love that. I love the idea of reclaim. Just what was yours all along. It never was gone. You were never broken. Like,
I love that. I want to say two things. I want to say how you mentioned stand one, absolutely no to negativity. And this is stand one. Stand one is saying, this is the truth. This was set my way for a purpose. There's just no negativity here. There isn't any negativity here. This is negative for me. It's a negative experience, but there's no negativity around it. There's no shame. I don't need to feel shame or blame myself for feeling shame. I don't have to worry. I can just receive what is coming my way and trust, even if I don't see myself learning, even if I feel like I'm going to be here forever. Talk about intense feelings. This is going to be my life for the rest of my life. That's okay. I am learning. Trust my heart. Trust my heart. When you said reclaim your voice, that is also one of the beautiful nuances of this idea is so often we're looking to the world and this person knows this and this person knows this, and it can be so overwhelming. There's so many different types of therapy and so many different types of, so many different voices out there. And I know that when I'm looking for someone else to give me the answer, it can feel like there's a million voices yelling at me because everyone is saying something else. And there is help out there and we can lean into that support. And the beautiful thing is when I know that my heart knows, when I know that the answer has been here all along, and that I can trust my body and trust my intuition, I can trust my heart, that my heart is holding me and that my heart knows exactly where I'm supposed to be. I just have to go in the direction that I need to right now. I don't have to worry about whether it's right for everyone else or whether it's the right one that everyone else thinks it is. It's my right, and that's it. It's here. It's already here. So maybe I need someone else's help to draw it out of me. Maybe I need some space to feel, but it's just about getting back here. That's where I'm going.
I love that clarity, and we'll close with this, and then I'm just going to ask you how people can find you. Mm-hmm. I love that clarity is the third stand.
Yeah.
Because in that first stand of, this is it, this is the truth, this is the reality of the moment, this is where we're at, there's something here for me. Like, I'm just going to be here as long as I need to be here. No negativity attached. And then I walk into my stand two, where I'm finding my heart and seeing myself in this moment and finding myself in this moment. I find out so much about my clarity, about my stand three. I find out about who I am and about what I want and about what I stand for in the world and what would serve that purpose and what would serve that clarity and that stand. That my stand three now becomes following through with who I truly am, following through with what I really want. And things become clear on their own once we have stand one and stand two in our place in such a flowing way versus a controlling, dominating, needing that clarity way. And that's such a gift too. Yeah. So thank you for this conversation, Menucha. This was so beautiful. For those that want to reach out to you, connect with you, coach with you, talk to you, learn from you, what should they do? How do they find you?
Yeah, so you can email me at menuchaklyne@gmail.com, or you can message me or call me at 845-293-3145.
Thank you.
See, this was so beautiful.
Yes, it was. Let's go be with the truth of the day, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, don't go yet. Take a minute to find the beautiful quality that you have, that you appreciate about yourself.